Welcome to the control flow section. This is where programming starts to get really interesting. In this lesson, we'll be learning about comparison operators. Comparison operators allow our programs to make decisions by comparing values. Imagine you are deciding whether to wear a jacket. You check the weather. Is the temperature less than 15 degrees? If yes, you wear a jacket. If no, you don't wear the jacket. That decision relies on comparing the actual value of the temperature to the reference point, which is 15 degrees. And computers do the same thing using comparison operators. So, what are comparison operators? Comparison operators allow us to compare two values, and these comparisons evaluate to a Boolean outcome, which is either true or false. Here are the basic comparison operators in Python. We have the equal to comparison operator, which uses double equal sign. This comparison operator is used to compare if a value is equal to another value. We have the not equal to comparison operator that uses one exclamation mark and one equal sign. It is a combination of an exclamation mark and an equal sign. It is used to check if a value is not equal to another value. We also have the greater than comparison operator. This is actually a common comparison operator from our mathematical days. So we have the greater than comparison operator that is used to compare if a value is greater than another value. We also have the less than comparison operator that is used to compare if a value is less than another value. Alright, we have the greater than or equal to comparison operator, which is used to check if a value is greater than or equal to another value. Okay. We also have the less than or equal to comparison operator, which is used to check if a value is less than or equal to another value. Alright, so let's see some of these operators in action. Let's have a variable and we're going to call the variable result. Okay, so we can say we want to be comparing two values and then we print out the outcome using comparison operators. Let's say we want to use the equal to comparison operator. We want to check if 5 is equal to 5. Okay, so the equal to comparison operator uses double equal sign. This is different from the single equal sign. The single equal sign is an assignment operator. The assignment operator is used to assign a value to a variable. That is a single equal sign. But to compare two values, you use the double equal sign. Okay, now let's print our result and see what we have as our result. My PC is kind of sluggish this morning. Okay, so we have result. If I print this now, what do we have? Okay, so you can see now that our result is true. So the equal sign comparison operator is going to compare the value on the left side and the right side. If both values are the same, if they are equal to each other, then it's going to return true. If they are not the same, it's going to return false. Let's say this is 6 and not 5. So we are going to check if 5 is equal to 6. So let's print this and see what we have. So we see that our result now is false. That means 5 is not equal to 6. Okay. We can also check if 5 as an integer is equal to 5 as a string. Let's see what we have as our result. We are going to have false because type matters when you are doing comparison check. 5 as an integer is different from 5 as a string. Okay, so you take note of that. The equal to comparison operator can also be used to check the equality of strings. They are not only used for numbers. All right, so we can say if 5 as a string is the same as another 5 as a string. So if we check this now, what do we have? Okay, so we have true. Okay, we can also check if Python is equal to Python. All right, so we have Python here. Then we are going to have another Python here. Okay, so let's run this and see what we have. So you can see now that we have true. Okay, so now let's change this to uppercase Python. See what we have as our result. Okay, so now you see we have false. So the equal sign comparison operator is not just meant for numbers. You can use it to check string and other data type. Okay, now let's move on to not equal sign comparison operator. Let's start with this example. We have Python with lowercase all through at the left side, and then we have a capitalized Python on the right side. Checking their equality nature, we see that it is false. Now let's check if the Python on the left side is not equal to the Python on the right side. Okay, so this is going to return true for us because the Python here is not equal to the Python here. So it's going to return true. This is used to check if a value is not equal to another value. Now, if we have the same value on both the left and the right side, then we are going to have false. Why is this false? It is false because both values on the left and on the right are the same. But this is used to check if they are not the same. So it's going to return false if they are the same, and it's going to return true if they are not the same. Okay, let's say this is, we can call this Java. I don't know why my system is sluggish this morning. So we can say this is Java. It has not woken up. Okay, so we have this to be true because Python is not equal to Java. All right, we can also use this with numbers. We can say if 3 is not equal to 3. Okay, so this is going to be false also because 3 is equal to 3 normally. So if we have 5 here, so it's going to be true because 3 is not equal to 5. Okay, so that is for not equal comparison operator. It is used for checking inequality. Okay, so let's move on to the next comparison operator, which is greater than. Okay, so the greater than comparison operator goes using this symbol. So it is used to check if the value on the left is greater than the value on the right. Now we have 3 greater than 5. That is false. So if you print that, we're going to have false as the result. But if we have 5 on the left side, 5 is greater than, okay, now we are saying 5 is greater than 5. That is not true. So that is going to be false because 5 is equal to 5. 5 is not greater than 5. But if we have 5 greater than 3, so that is going to be true because 5 is greater than 3. Okay, so comparison operators, they resort to Boolean values. If the expression is true, it will return true, and if the expression is false, it will return false. Okay, so that's for greater than. And for less than, so less than is used to check if the value on the left side is less than the value on the right side. Right now we have 5 less than 3. That is going to be false. But if we have 3 less than 3, that is going to be false because 3 is equal to 3. Okay, so if we have 5, that is going to be true because 3 is actually less than 5. Okay, now we are left with greater than or equal to comparison operator and less than or equal to comparison operator. Okay, so let's start with greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to goes with this symbol, combination of greater than and a single equal to symbol. Okay, so it is used to check if the value on the left side is greater than or equal to the value on the right side. Now we have 3 greater than or equal to 5. That is false because 3 is not greater than 5 and 3 is not equal to 5. So we are going to have false. Now let's say we have 7 here. 7 is actually greater than 5, so it's going to be true. If you also change this to, or let's say 5, right? So 5 is not greater than 5, but 5 is equal to 5. So this is going to be true also. This one is checking for 2 conditions. It is checking if the value on the left side is greater than the value on the right side, or if the value on the left side is equal to the value on the right side. This is also the same for less than or equal to. Less than or equal to is used to check if the value on the left side is less than the value on the right side, or if the value on the left side is equal to the value on the right side. Now this is going to be true because 5 is equal to 5, even though 5 is not less than 5. Okay, so let's say we have 3. Okay, 3 is less than 5, so that is going to be true, as you can see. But 3 is not equal to 5. So this is the one that is satisfying the condition, the less than symbol. All right, so let's say we have 7. 7 is not less than 5 and 7 is not equal to 5. So that is going to be equal to false. All right. Comparison operators are not limited to numbers. They can also be used with variables to compare the values of the variables. For example, let's say we have variable x to be equal to, we can say 10, all right? And then let's say we have variable y to be equal to, let's say 5, okay? Now we can, let's say we want to compare the value of x and y. So we can say x is x greater than y, okay? So let's print this and see what we have. we see we have true because x is holding the value of 10, while y is holding the value of 5. So by comparing the variables, we are actually comparing their values. Okay, now let's check if x is also equal to 5, and that is going to be false because x is not equal to 5. Okay, is x not equal to 5? That is going to be true because x is not equal to 5. There are various practical applications where comparison operators are used. For example, let's say we want to create a voting eligibility checker where we'll ask our users to input their age, and then we use the age to determine if they are eligible to vote or not. We can create a sample of that. Let's say we have, let's print a message to the user, and then we are going to ask them, are you eligible to vote? As a question, right? So after that, we are going to pass a prompt to the user, and then we are going to assign the value of that prompt to the variable of age. So we are going to say input. The prompt we are going to pass to the user is going to be enter, okay, enter your age. As you already know, input is going to return string, but we need age as an integer. We are going to convert the result of the input function to an integer. Okay, so you can chain functions like this. You can pass a function as an input to another function. So first of all, input is going to get the user's age, and then it's going to pass the results to integer. Then integer is going to convert the string to an integer. Okay, so we can use age now to determine if the user is eligible to vote or not. So we're going to print if age is, or let's say greater than or equal to 18, because 18 is, let's say, the generally accepted age for voting. Now let's run this and see what we have. Okay, so we have enter your age. Let's say I'm 16. Okay, and I enter that. So you see I have false. That means I'm not eligible to vote. Let's run this again. Okay, now we have, let's provide a value that, let's say 18, let's say I'm 18 years old. Now if I run that, so I have true, that means I am eligible to vote. So here we get the age of the user and compare the age to 18. If the user is older than or equal to 18 years old, which is what we did here, the program prints true, which means they are eligible to vote. If not, it prints false, which means they are not eligible to vote. There are some common mistakes to be avoided when working with comparison operators. One of them is using the single equal symbol rather than double equal symbols to compare the equality of two values. Single equal symbol is an assignment operator, just as I've said, whereas the double equal symbol is comparison operator. Let's see that. Let's say we want to try to compare the value of 5 and 6. If we use just a single equal symbol, we are going to run into error because what we're actually doing here is we are assigning 6 to 5, which does not make sense literally. You see now, you cannot assign, see the error message, you cannot assign to a function call. This single equal symbol is trying to assign 6 to 5. So to compare the values, you use double equal symbol. That is a mistake that is easy to make. Single equal symbol is for assigning to variables, while double equal symbol is the one that actually compares to values. All right. Another common mistake is case sensitivity when you are comparing strings. Just as you've seen in our previous example, Python with lowercase all through is not the same as Python even with just a single uppercase. Okay, so comparison operators, they are also case sensitive. You take note of that. If you run this now, you are going to have false because Python with lowercase all through is not the same as Python with a single uppercase. So if we have lowercase all through, that is then going to be, okay, so we have true. These are the foundation for making decisions in our code. In the next lesson, we'll expand on this by learning about logical operators. Logical operators allow us to combine multiple comparisons and multiple expressions into more powerful conditions. So for that, I will see you in the next lesson.